Revo Rundown, Episode 3. Today we'll be talking about steering servos, the TQI radio cheat sheet, stripped screw holes, battery talk, differential shims, and basic RC outing bags. Steering servos. Most RCs come stock with a pretty cheap plastic-geared steering servo. The plastic gears in these servos can strip out fairly easily. Oftentimes, they'll strip gears the first time your steering takes a hard hit. I would highly suggest upgrading to a waterproof metal-geared servo such as a Servos. It's also a good idea to have an extra servo on hand as a backup. To help extend the life of your servo, you should set steering endpoints. Basically, your servo doesn't know what RC it's installed in, so it has no idea when to stop turning your wheels. It'll try to keep pushing your wheels past their steering limit. This puts extra strain on your servo's motor and will cause the motor to burn out prematurely. You'll be able to hear the servo motor straining when you turn hard left and right. When programming steering endpoints, turn the wheel all the way on your controller until you hear it straining. Then back off slightly until it stops straining and hit the set button. Do this to the left and right. To set steering endpoints, refer to your RC's user manual or Google how to set steering endpoints for your RC's brand, model, and controller. For Traxxas TQI controllers, you can find this cheat sheet online to help you navigate your settings menu. Just Google TQI manual and it should pop up first on the list. The TQI controller menu guide can be found on page 13. I recommend printing this out and keeping a copy of it in your toolkit. Strip screw hole tricks. It's inevitable. Screw holes in a plastic chassis will no doubt eventually strip out. No matter how careful you are, this will happen. The simplest way to deal with this is to just put a very small spot of superglue on the tip of the screw before putting it back in. Just tighten the screw until you feel it's about as far as it'll go. Then let it sit and cure for the suggested time on your glue's instructions. With just a small amount of superglue, the screw will hold in place while still being able to be removed. Another option is to find a slightly larger screw to put in the hole. I've even used a small wood screw with great success. Your local hardware store should have small machine screws that might work as well. If you're comfortable drilling out your screw holes, you can use these machine screws to replace your smaller screws. Just drill your holes out with a bit slightly smaller than your new screws, reinstall your screws, and you're good to go. These machine screws are also easy to cut down to length, so you don't have to worry about getting the correct length screws to match your stock screw's length. Also, you might be able to find screws that are just slightly larger than your stock screws, and you may not have to drill your holes out. Just be aware, if you try a screw that's too large, it can crack the plastic when you reinstall it. This is why I suggest drilling your holes out slightly if needed. Battery talk. What batteries you choose will depend on your driving style. Some people are into extreme bashing and speed runs. For these activities, you'll probably want to go with LiPo batteries. Look up LiPo battery care and see what all is involved and if LiPos are for you. NIM batteries are much simpler. Just plug them in and charge them up. Run them till they're dead, rinse and repeat. No real maintenance required. I mostly run my Revo on my dirt track. Running the stock NIM battery is perfect. For more runtime, I got the parallel splitter that lets you run two batteries. This took my runtime from around 13 minutes up to 25 minutes. The downside is, your car is noticeably heavier. Cornering and jumping becomes a little more sluggish. After running two batteries in parallel for a while, I switched back to just running a single battery. I feel it handles a lot better and it's a lot more fun overall. Also, with two batteries as mentioned, your RC is heavier. More weight equals things breaking more often. I also have a series splitter that lets you run two batteries with more power instead of more battery life. It's recommended that you only use this for speed runs, not for off-road and bashing. More power equals more things breaking. Differential shims. One of the first things I did on my Mini e-Revo was install diff shims in the front and rear. The ring and pinion gears can get stripped out very easily on the Mini e-Revo in stock form. Simply install these little shims on the ring gear side of your differential. I put one in the front and two in the rear. I eventually added a third in the rear. The shims put side pressure on your differential to help push the ring gear into the pinion gear. This keeps the gears closer together to prevent them from skipping and stripping out. RC Outing Bag. It's a great idea to have a bag that fits all your basic RC essentials for shorter outings. I use an old skill saw bag. It fits extra batteries, a few tools, a water bottle, a controller, and my mini e-Revo perfectly. I use this bag most often when taking the Revo out to the track in the backyard. You could also use a backpack that fits all your basic gear, or one of these big reusable grocery shopping bags works great as well. Having a bag sure beats fumbling around putting extra batteries in your pockets, plus trying to carry a water bottle, snacks, your controller, and your RC. That's it for this episode. Please hit the subscribe button and check out my channel for more fun videos.